today we're going to be talking about pregnancy, one of my favorite topics. I have a whole series of pregnancy related videos from my third pregnancy talking about now that you're pregnant, what next. So today's video is just going to be an update on this pregnancy, a question and answer of questions I've gotten periodically through the years as I've been pregnant. A couple of them are from my recent pregnancy announcement video. This will be a pretty short, concise video. Like I said, I already have a lot of pregnancy videos made. If there's something specific that you want me to touch on in a future video, please leave those questions down below. And I also created a questionnaire form where if you have any pregnancy, birth related questions that you want me to talk about, there will be a link down below you can click. It'll take you to a separate form if you don't want to leave your questions or topics of interest down below. You want them to be anonymous. You can click the link down below. It'll take you to a separate form and then it will submit the questions to me and I will know what y'all want me to talk about in the next pregnancy related video. Like I said, I've talked a lot on this before, so I don't want to keep talking about things that I've already talked about that are reiterative. So if there's something specific you want, leave the question down below, a comment, or check out that form. It'll be linked in the description box. First question, due date. Now this is something I no longer share. I no longer even calculate for myself. The only person that has an estimated due date for me is a midwife, and that's because she puts it in her program, her system. She asked for the date of my last cycle, and that's just how she calculates it, and it's something I asked her not to share with me this time. And I just really like not having a date in my head to think, oh, this is when baby's going to arrive. And I know that babies don't come on a due date. They're not library books. They come when they're ready. They come when in the perfect timing of the Lord. And with my first 3 pregnancies, I had a specific number date. And I remember just constantly obsessing over that number of that due date. And when that date came and passed, it was always like, oh, well, I'm past due now. I know that's not true. Most women don't give birth on their due date. It's actually very rare. None of my children have come on their due date. They've all come past their due date by a day, 2 days, 9 days. Like, it's so variable about when the Lord is ready for them and when that baby is ready. So I got really frustrated with people asking me my due date. I don't like the mental aspect of it, of people, well, you're past due now, any day now. I do not like that. I don't like the pressure of that. I also don't like it mentally for myself of knowing, okay, I'm at this date, we're aiming for this date, and when that date passes, it's just a mental thing. Not that I'm worried when I go past that due date. It's been so freeing these last 2 pregnancies, not having a specific due date in my head, just having a specific time of that month, the season that baby is going to arrive. So this baby should arrive sometime in November. Y'all will see my belly grow and you'll see when we're getting very close to time, but sometime in November of this year. What are the age gaps between your children? Because our children are little doorsteps. We go out and about and everyone comments that we have little doorsteps. So yes, our children are very close in age, very much so intentionally. We've been so happy to grow our family very early in our marriage. My husband and I were a bit older when we got married. We were 29 and 33. So we were more than happy to start having children as soon as possible. So the age gap of our children is 18 months, 20 months, 20 months, and this gap will be 17 months. This will be our smallest age gap yet, 17 months. What is our birth plan? And we'll be sharing a birth story or birth video. Our birth plan is the same as usual, as long as we have no medical complications arise prior to the baby's arrival. I still am using the same midwife that I have used for my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th births. We absolutely love her. The plan will be to have baby at home. Again, if nothing medically arises and we need to transfer or need to plan a hospital birth, but that's not something we anticipate for. It's something we are very aware of and open to if the need may arise, but it's not something we worry about or have anxiety over. We plan that we will have baby at home and that the Lord has his hands on that. And if anything changes, we are not gonna fret over it. It's the Lord's plan. Will I be sharing a story or a video, like a vlog? Most likely, yes. I haven't fully decided yet on the vlog. I'll definitely be sharing a birth story. I've shared like a vlog of my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th births, which were all at home with the same midwife. I have a hospital birth chat story with my first son, my first child, but I plan to definitely share the birth story, talk about the birth, how it goes, what was different, what was the same as my past births, and most likely we'll be sharing a vlog. I haven't 100% decided on that, but most likely yes, because I really enjoy watching those back and editing those and showing women that birth is not scary. It's not something to fear. Yes, it's something that we should respect. It is a challenging aspect of femalehood, of womanhood, of motherhood, but it is a beautiful rite of passage, and I think that it should be shown that way more often than it actually is. You see such sterile hospital environment stories, or you hear stories of mamas that had these hospital births, and just, I don't know, I just love sharing the beauty of what birth can be and opening more women's eyes to that. So most likely I will be sharing our birth vlog again. Have I been sick any in this pregnancy or during the first trimester? Have I had any food aversions? Now, I have been so blessed. I say blessed. I've put a lot of work in before pregnancy to get my body in the right state to carry a baby. So I've talked a lot about that before, about how preparing your body preconception, mentally, physically, in every aspect, helps so much with pregnancy symptoms and aversions. So quickly answer that, no, I have not been sick. I have not had any nausea. Any in the first trimester. The only symptom I will sometimes get in the first trimester is not really a food aversion, like there's not a specific food that I'm just like repulsed by, but a lot of times in that first trimester, I'll be cooking dinner for my family. It's like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and what I'm cooking just does not look good. I'm like, I really do not want to eat this. It just doesn't look appetizing right now. But I sit down at the table, serve everyone's plate, serve myself just a smaller portion, just to, because I know I need to eat. And I'm not gonna like go make something separate or just skip the meal. So I'll serve myself a small portion, and usually once I start eating, it's no big deal. It just doesn't look appetizing when I'm cooking it. So I wouldn't say a true food aversion, but a little bit of like food resistance, I guess, or food just not looking as appetizing as it normally does. And that's usually just in the first trimester. There was maybe like one night that I really did not want the food I was cooking, and I made myself like a fruit kefir protein smoothie, and that's what I had for dinner that night, and it was no big deal. I probably could have just eaten the food I served my family, but that's to the extent of my sickness or like aversion in pregnancy. I know I'm very blessed in that area. I've talked about that before. Many women, that is not their story, but I know there is healing in that, and there are some things you can do preconception that I believe will help you in pregnancy to face less severe symptoms. Those are common, but they are not normal. Our bodies are not meant to be in like this wrecked havoc state. Pregnancy is a state of healing. It should be a state of healing. I have another video on that, on how I prepared my body for pregnancy preconception. And we'll link that down below if y'all are interested in watching it. We're gonna find out the gender or leave it a surprise like we have been. So we found out the gender of our first two children. Our third and fourth children were surprises, so we plan on this one being a surprise as well. It's really, really sweet to be in anticipation of the gender the entire pregnancy, the entire labor. Gives you that excitement, that last push forward to get baby here, especially when contractions get really intense. You're just so excited to find out the gender. Our son has announced the gender. Well, he meant to announce it with our third child, but that was an unexpected, my husband delivered the baby unexpectedly. The midwife did not get here, so we didn't have time to bring our son down to announce the gender. So my husband so sweetly announced it to me. I'll never forget the look on his face, whatever he, after catching her and said she was a girl. It was just the sweetest moment. I'll never forget the look on his face, the tone in his voice. It's so special. And then with our fourth child, my son came down right after he was born and announced the gender. We turned him around and he announced that it was a boy. So it's very sweet. So we'll see who gets to announce it this time. Maybe we'll let one of our daughters do it or let them all do it together. But that's just a really sweet aspect. We love the surprise of the gender. I know some people say they could not ever wait the entire pregnancy to find out the gender. I didn't think I could, but it's really a sweet surprise if you decide to do that, and you think you can. What is my age at this pregnancy? So right now I'm 35. I will be 36 by the time this baby is born, and I know that like strikes some concern in some people, but it's really, I think that's all like a mental aspect and the mama's health aspect. There are, I know if I was in a regular like OB hospital setting, I would be labeled as a high risk mama because I'm 35 and will be past 35 when this baby is born. But what many women don't know is that our egg health coincides with our health, and I put a lot of time and effort into keeping myself as healthy as possible. So my eggs should be as healthy as possible. I'm not saying that there can't be issues arise, and I'm not immune to that at any age, but there are 20-something-year-olds that have that probably are higher risk technically than some 38-year-olds, but since they're still in their 20s, they're not labeled high risk as the healthiest 38, 39-year-old. So I am 35, I'll be 36, and I have not had any more difficulties in this pregnancy than I have in any of my others. If anything, it's been easier or just as easy as my last two pregnancies. My last two pregnancies, I really looked a lot into healing and truly nourishing my body, and I think that's made a huge difference in these last two pregnancies and now this current pregnancy. The last topic I'll touch on are supplements. I have an entire video for my third pregnancy on what supplements I was taking. That was my first pregnancy to not take a one-size-fits-all prenatal. In that pregnancy, there weren't any good prenatals that I knew of. There were some higher quality ones. Now there are some really good prenatal options that I've seen. Someone that just thinks you do the peace of mind of a prenatal. I've seen some really, really good ones that I would totally take if I wanted to put the money to that. I'm taking the 3 supplements from Be Fertile: beef liver, oyster supplement, and the vitamin C supplement. And I am still taking some Shilajit, though I'm doing a little research on the actual quality of Shilajit. The owner of the company Be Fertile is she's been sharing a little bit about Shilajit. They used to sell Shilajit through the company Be Fertile, but then there's some questions about the sourcing and the quality of the Shilajit. I am still taking one of those, but that's something I'm actually researching. If you know any more about sourcing, let me know down below. The owner of Be Fertile just did a podcast episode on it with someone, and I've been meaning to listen to it, so I want to listen to that. But currently I'm still taking Shilajit. I am taking a magnesium supplement. I'm from Forever Healthy, as well as her Thyro, which is like a thyroid supplement. This is Noelle Covery. Y'all have heard me talk about her many times. She has a company called Forever Healthy, and they have a supplement line in there. So I'm taking her magnesium, I think it's called Mag Elite, and her Thyro supplement. I'll link all the supplements down below that I'm taking. And like teas, I don't really consider those supplements. Those are like whole foods. Tea, I will start Nora tea here pretty soon. I usually started about halfway through the pregnancy, which again, I'm not really tracking pregnancy. I know I'm around 4 months pregnant, so we're getting to the halfway mark, which is when I'll start drinking Nora tea more regularly. So yeah, supplements are pretty basic. I don't even take all the same supplements I was taking in that third pregnancy, and it's really like lean into how I'm feeling that day or what I'm craving. Every day I wake up, drink a warm glass of water with lemon and salt. Salt is so beneficial, like a high quality salt, in getting minerals into us, and I think it's so often overlooked. A lot of women that face nausea have been told that starting their day with some sort of salt in their drink will completely eliminate that nausea. So if you are a mama who has faced nausea and severe like sickness in pregnancy, try that. Try having a warm drink with salt first thing in the morning. My preference is lemon water with salt. So again, this was supposed to be about supplements. I'm talking about lemon water, but I think that there are so many little things we can consume through the day, foods and drinks, that are considered supplements if we are taking a whole food approach for our body and our nutrition, and keeping our bodies in the healthiest state they can be when we are growing another human. So that's all I had to touch on for today. Like I said, if you have any more questions you want me to talk about about pregnancy, birth, check the link down below. There will be a form that it will take you to, and you can submit your questions directly there, or topics you want me to talk on the next pregnancy video. This pregnancy, I am into my second trimester now. Like I said, it's been very smooth. I know that's a huge blessing because not all women can say that, but there is a lot, I think, that we could research and learn more about going into a pregnancy in a healthier state. I know some women don't have that choice. Maybe they didn't have the time to heal from a toxic lifestyle before pregnancy, and it's just kind of the state they're in. But there are, I think there's things we can always learn and improve upon in helping ourselves be in a healthier, more healing, vibrant state in pregnancy, because I think pregnancy truly can be a healing state if we go into it with that framework. I actually went into this pregnancy with that framework because if you didn't know, I did have implants through all 4 of my other pregnancies. This is my first pregnancy without having implants, and I have kind of gone into this pregnancy as a state of healing because our bodies are growing new life. It's a really healing state for us, and I've been really excited for a lot of the healing that can happen from that surgery. I am like 8 months past that surgery, so my body is still healing from that. I kind of had some concerns that I might have a more difficult pregnancy since I did have that surgery prior to this pregnancy. I didn't know if hormones were going to be kind of unbalanced, progesterone, estrogen, but so far it hasn't had any effect on it. So that's all I have for today. If you have any more questions, topics you want me to touch on, check the link below. I'll be glad to touch on them, talk about them in the next pregnancy update chat video. Thank y'all for following along in my pregnancies and all of your sweet, kind words of encouragement when we announce that we are bringing a new life into our family. It just means so much to me. So thank y'all for watching this video and spending some time with me today, and I will talk to y'all soon.